Okay, everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today, joined by the one and only Zen. How's it going, Zen?
Hello, what's up, everyone? It's doing great.
So Zen is known for on Twitch and in the GeoGuessr community for being a great hedger. Loves the hedge streaks, and yeah, he's going to teach me today a few of the new. A lot of plant meta, and we're going to start with palm trees. Anything you'd like to add?
I'd like to add I am not a botanical expert by any means. In fact, I've never even practiced botany, like outside of just what I see through Street View. So yeah, all these things, I've just been learning them throughout the months. I decided to compile a bunch of different plants for separate maps. So yeah, palm trees I think are super underrated when it comes to GeoGuessr. You can definitely get away with winning some games knowing a specific type of palm tree that your opponent doesn't know. So yeah, I can't wait to get started.
All right, let's get her going. See how I do. I'm very much a learner when it comes to the plant world, especially palms. So we will see.
We're starting with a hard one right here.
This is a hard one. Okay.
What are your thoughts? Explain me your thoughts when we start the rounds, and then I can give you a little rundown of what we have.
So immediately I thought this was Brazil. So I'm already thinking that this palm over here, I know there's two palms that look similar. There's the Paraguay palm, so the one that's kind of I don't know how to describe it, but it has a bit more of the droopy leaves. And then there's another one that looks similar, but the trunk is different. So that's correct, as much as I know.
Yeah. So this one is indeed one of those two. Okay. They are commonly mistaken as the same one. One is the Macaw Palm,
right,
which is found basically in like almost all of South America. You can even find it in Mexico. And then you have the Paraguay Palm. So they're basically almost like twin brothers. Like you said, you can identify them based on the trunk. But yeah, they look very similar to each other. And even seeing them over and over and over again, you can still get them confused with one another. So yeah, usually you want to use, obviously it's GeoGuessr. You're not just guessing on a picture of a palm. Right. You do have landscape, right?
Right.
So yeah, if it doesn't look like Mato Grosso do Sul, just consider it being the Macaw Palm. And of course, if you catch this one like in Colombia, for example, then yeah, consider other things like car meta or sun direction, etc. But this one right here is the Paraguay Palm.
Okay. Yep, for sure. That makes sense. Yeah, the leaves look a bit droopy, and yeah, if looking at the landscape, it looks very Midwest Brazil. So I do agree with that.
Yeah, I'd say it's more like an. It looks like it's been groomed. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like it has more of like a circular shape to it.
Right.
It's more like organized and stuff.
Right.
And often the trunk will be like smooth. And you can see it here that it doesn't have any long thorns.
Okay.
But I'm hoping we will run into its brother, basically. And we'll be able to compare them. But yeah, this is for sure the Paraguay Palm. So you can go ahead and make your guess. Whenever you're ready, I'll just send mine. And
perfect.
Okay.
Nice.
So you can you've used this script already before, but you can slide through the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the times it will just be a picture of the plant and a picture of the iNaturalist distribution. But sometimes, especially when it's like difficult plants, I will try to make a description about it and maybe, some circles and stuff. I know people love red circles, so
yep.
That's what I'm doing.
That is awesome.
Yeah, just one heads up for any plant that you get on these maps. Always have in mind that the iNaturalist distribution isn't perfect. just use it as a guideline, because plants that are planted in people's backyard or in botanical gardens where they don't usually belong will show up in a naturalist. So just have that in mind. You have to look at the biggest clump of red dots, basically.
Yep.
And indeed, this is just Mato Grosso do Sul, Paraguay, and northern Argentina, as we can see.
Sweet. All right. That makes sense. Okay, wow. So immediately, yeah, these palms have huge trunks and they have, like, they're quite unique looking. Just from the palm alone, yeah, I would not be able to identify. That looks pretty new to me. Now, I'm looking around. I see that we do have white Gen 3 car. And then looking at the architecture, I'm thinking this is actually, and the sun's to the north, so I'm actually unsure. Is this Chile? Is this the Chilean wine palm, perchance?
Correct. It is. I just call them fat boys because they are kind of, but it is indeed the Chilean wine palm, and this is a little bit of a niche kind of place to know, because if you see them like this growing, you can tell that they're just, growing in the wild. They're thriving in this little valley. You're always going to be in Viña del Mar, like always.
Okay.
If you see these grouped up together, you can basically 4.9K, even 4.99 something K. But I just want to mention that Chileans, of course, since it's endemic to Chile, they are proud of this palm tree, and you will see them planted in like avenues in, Santiago or in other cities. But yeah, if you see them out in the wild like this, in families and groups, you're always going to be in Viña del Mar.
Okay, sounds good. I'll just go ahead and send somewhere around that area. And yeah, it's literally downtown Viña del Mar.
Yep.
That is awesome. Sweet. Okay, wow. I think this is what you were talking about. Is this? So I'm looking at the trunk immediately. I see how rugged it is, and the leaves are fanning down. So my question to you would be, is this the Macaw Palm?
No, it is not.
Okay.
But I want you to try to figure out why this is a completely different species of palm. Do you notice anything going on at the base of the trunk?
What it is, well, at the base of the trunk, well, there's one that's kind of doubled, but the others are maybe like a bit curved, maybe?
Doubled. Yeah, okay, you're onto something.
So curved, doubled, maybe they're just thick in general. Maybe the Macaw Palm is thinner. Not sure, but
this one, this one is one of the types of palms that I've noticed growing together from like the same. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's one palm tree, but it's two. So they share the same roots.
Yep.
But it's basically the same palm tree.
Okay.
But they're together. They're like coupled like this.
Conjoined twins.
They're kind of like that if you want to see it that way. So if we look around us, they're all like solitary. So you have to have in mind that they won't always be coupled. But this is one of the ones that I have noticed. I've just seen them growing like this, and it's interesting to me. I haven't done like a whole lot of research on like what types of species do this, but it's just something that I've noticed, and it's definitely something to have in mind.
Okay.
So this is called the Yatay Palm, and you can make your region guess here. Where do you think this is?
A Yatay Palm. That is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Have I heard of that before? That sounds kind of familiar. I mean, sun's north. I almost wonder if there's a chance it could be Argentina. My initial thought was Brazil, but the soil's a little red, so yeah, I'll send it. Okay. I think I'll send Brazil, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Arg somewhere.
Go for it.
Yatay Palm. Let's go for it. Okay. It is Corrientes province.
So it is Argentina, and you can check the distribution for this one. This is another kind of like a niche palm again. You don't see it very often, but when you do see it, you're going to be around that area. In Brazil, it only shows up in like very far south RGDS, which, I mean, if I'm honest, I have not even been able to find any examples of them. I've looked, but I wasn't able to find them. But according to Wikipedia, you do find them there. I also see a couple of observations in RGDS.
Okay.
But yeah, this is definitely a see this palm tree, pick Argentina, close to the Paraná River for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
They can be like concentrated in, different parts and stuff, but
okay.
Yeah, the area you can see it pretty precisely on this iNat map. iNaturalist map.
Right. That makes sense. Actually, I'm curious if it's related. I do know. I'm not quite sure I've seen this palm, but there's a palm in Entre Rios near the town of Palmyra that I've seen before. There's this big park, but if I recall correctly, those are like super tall. I think that's probably a different species. The ones in eastern.
I can't think of the one that you're talking about.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Because I do see on the distribution on the border with Uruguay, there's a high concentration. Yeah. I wonder if it's the same thing. There is a park near the town of Palmar in Entre Rios called Parque Nacional El Palmar, I think.
Palmar. Interesting.
And there's a bunch of palm trees all over the place in that park, but I feel like they're taller from the last time I saw it. I don't know if it's the same species.
Is it by any chance here? I couldn't find the name, but I sent you a location on Discord.
Yeah, let's see. Is this Parque Nacional El Palmar? Yes, it is. So
is it?
Yes, this is Parque Nacional El Palmar.
Yeah. I had to zoom in super far. Yeah. Okay, I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the same palm?
Correct. Yes, it is the Yatay Palm.
That is a Yatay Palm.
And you can even move around a little bit if you want, because they just have a very unique look to their leaves.
Yes.
It's more of just we've seen them a few times, so you recognize them. I can't really give you an accurate one-sentence description for you to remember forever, but definitely remember these because they can mean very good points. And I mean, there's a chance people will get this park just for the car.
Right.
But say you're playing an NPC or whatever, you can definitely get away with a very good score.
Yeah. Okay. That answers my question because they do get.
Yeah.
They do.
I was confused because I never actually realized that it was a park.
Yeah. It's a whole park, and I didn't realize that those trees could get taller. Like in this park, they're quite tall. The original log, I think, they were a bit shorter, but
yeah, I could see that for sure.
Sweet. All right. Cool palm. Right. Yatay.
Let's go to the next.
Yep.
Yatay Palm. Yep.
Oh wow. We are on an island of some kind. This palm looks like a shrub.
Yeah, this is a bit of a spicy one.
Spicy one. Okay. Well, I'm trying to think, like, could it be some Pacific island, or could it be I know there's some Mediterranean palms that are kind of shrub looking as well, like in Greece. But other than that,
True. Yes. I know the one that you're talking about. We'll probably run into that one later on. But this
okay,
is definitely not it. This is
okay,
not the Mediterranean
okay.
Sea for sure.
The other option that went through my head was maybe something in Africa. Like
Okay.
I know
You might get
Madagascar.
on. Okay.
Yeah, I know
I think you're
Madagascar.
cooking.
You think I've cooked? Okay. I know
I think you're
Madagascar
cooking.
has coverage that
Mhm.
looks like this. Now I don't know the palm.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what this is, but I feel like just looking at the coverage, it could be Madagascar, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you're definitely correct.
Okay.
This is Madagascar.
Sweet.
The palm tree itself. This is a bit of a tricky one because sometimes you'll see the palm trees looking smaller or younger, or even if it's the same species, in some places they grow taller. So it's a little bit of a tricky one. But it's worth noting that this palm tree, you won't always find it looking exactly like this. The name of it is Ilala Palm.
Okay.
Ilala.
Okay.
You will see the name after we plonk, but
Yeah.
this one's basically Africa only,
Okay.
and mostly South Africa on the coast and Madagascar. I'm assuming it's also in Mozambique, but like we don't really have coverage there, so there is no point in mentioning it.
Okay. Sounds good.
But yeah, you definitely cooked on this one, I must say.
That is awesome. Yeah, I purely thought about it just because of the coverage, the way it looked, but the palm, I had no idea what that was. Sweet. Let's see it. Ilala Palm.
Yep.
And there we have it.
So I've considered adding maybe a second picture of this palm to prove the point that they won't always look the same. But in this case, you can see on the shape of the leaves and the fact that they all grow like that you get multiple palms from the same stem, or I don't know what the correct term is, but you can see that they all grow like branched, like grouped together.
Yes. Okay. So in that Madagascar round, it was pretty young, I guess, but you could kind of make out that it had a large base, basically.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So also Kenya, I forgot. True. You can also see them in Kenya sometimes.
Okay.
But yeah, this is mostly a Durban, Richards Bay, that East Coast, South Africa kind of stuff. That's the biggest tell with this palm.
Okay.
And I'm hoping we will get to see it again. So yeah, whenever you're ready, I'll check next.
That's perfect. Let's go on. Let's move on. Oh, wow. Okay. I think I know this one. Immediately, just NMPZ. Is this the Canary Islands?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. All right. So this should be.
What do you know about this palm?
Well, I only know it as the Canary Island palm. But if you have additional facts about it, feel free to.
I mean, this one is just, you will find this one like basically everywhere in the world. But growing out in the wild like this, I believe Canary Islands is the only place. But since it's such an ornamental, beautiful, like aesthetic looking palm tree, you find these planted in so many cities. Like I've seen them in Australia, in Africa. I've pretty much seen them in like every single continent.
Right.
Maybe not Russia for obvious reasons, but I've definitely seen them in so many different countries.
Okay.
But I believe growing out here in the wild, thriving, Canary Islands is definitely your best bet.
Yep, sounds good. And of course, there's a bunch of other clues for the Canary Islands, but that's
exactly.
pretty
so
cool looking palm.
You always want to look around, but I don't know about the Portuguese island. I'm trying to think what kind of 50-50 you could have here. I guess Madeira or like, you know, Funchal or something like that could come, biting back as a 50-50. But I'm pretty confident that if you see these driving out in the wild, you can just click one of them, Canary Islands.
Sweet. All right. And yeah, if I'm just looking at the distribution,
Yep.
okay, it's showing the Canary Island distribution.
I purposely zoomed it in to Canary Islands. But if you click the link to Phoenix Canadiensis,
yes,
you see you have a hyperlink.
Yep.
On the notes.
Yep.
Just click it for a second and take a look at the world map.
Yeah, I can see that it's literally everywhere. California, people planted a lot. South America, it's literally everywhere. Wow,
it's literally everywhere. So that's my goal with this map is mostly to showcase where the plants are native to and where you find them out in the wild, which is the reason why I don't. If I include an ornamental plant, like something that's planted in an avenue or something like that, I'm gonna at least make sure that it's planted in an area where you also find it in the wild. I don't want to cause any confusions or anything. Okay. And I also do like thorough research, making sure that I don't troll anyone, But I did mention in the note, right? What did I write? Yeah, it appears in many notable examples of landscaping, American state of California, and other places too. Okay. So yeah, out in the wild, that's what you have to basically have in mind when you see these in these maps. Okay. That's the important part.
Fair enough. Oh wow. Okay. Now these have a lot of like leaves. They make them look really thick here. It's hard to not look around. Okay, well, based off just the palm alone, I don't know what this would be. Looking around, it obviously looks like the US. I'm just not sure where exactly. I mean, I can only assume that this would be, it's pretty dry. It has to be somewhere in like Arizona or California. But yeah, other than that, I have nothing else to add.
All right, go for your guess.
Sweet. I will just send it in the south of the US here. Oh, California Fan Palm. Okay.
Yep.
And that's pretty close to Joshua Tree National Park. Huh, interesting.
I think it is. Oh yeah, it's like right outside of it. If you check the distribution for it,
yep,
you will see. Just make sure that you're like focusing on like the dark red areas. Ignore some random observation in like Cancun. Am I seeing Cancun and Yucatan? Like, just ignore that. Don't be like, oh, this is found in California, but also in Cancun. No, like, just this is basically the California palm.
Okay.
It has such an elaborate like guide and description on Wikipedia because this is what a unit of a palm basically. And it's super famous over there. I think they plant them a lot in like LA, San Diego, that kind of stuff. So I guess even when they're planted, you can sort of use them to tell LA from Florida apart. Because we'll get to Florida. They have like their own native species that they also like to plant in their cities. So I'm guessing it is actually a good clue for LA, San Diego, stuff like that.
Okay.
Besides obviously finding it in huge families like this out in the Mojave Desert, Joshua Tree. Man, the list is so long, but basically, yeah, California.
Sweet.
I'd say California, Arizona, Southern Nevada, etc.
Yeah, perfect. And its main characteristic is that it's a unit of a palm. I love it.
Oh, for sure.
Ooh. Okay, so I immediately know the region. And these trees,
super recognizable.
Yeah, super recognizable region. If I remember the name correctly, I believe these would be the sand palms found in the Northern Territory.
So you are correct. It is a sand palm.
Perfect.
And I'm like, for a player that's, medium level or experience level, learning this palm might not be that useful because, you look around and you're immediately thinking, this is Darwin, right?
Right, exactly.
This is Darwin area for sure. I'm just gonna click it. There's no point really in learning the palm. But for someone that's just starting with the game and wants a reliable way to distinguish it, then I think it's a really good one.
All right. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, these are really cool, and they're only really found from Catherine up to Darwin coast, basically.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, quite unique. Okay. Wow. Well, is this another example?
You remember this one?
Yeah. Is this another example of the California Fan Palm?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, it's quite distinct for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then looking around, obviously, we have the Cali lines and all the other stuff going on.
I believe the other location, if you look north, you see that group of palm trees. I think the other location that I have is just behind those palm trees.
Oh, okay.
I think we're right around the corner of the other location.
Oh my God. If I had sent I don't know, Mexico or something, that would have been embarrassing. Nice. The Coachella Valley Preserve. That's what it is. Sweet. Oh, wow. Wait. Okay. This is a very unique palm, and I think I did read about it. It's the one...
Yeah, go on.
I believe it's the one that you find in northern Queensland near Cairns. I don't remember the name because it's something stupid, but yeah, I think it's Cairns.
Actually, I think it has a pretty easy name to remember.
Okay.
In general, palm trees that have this very rounded shape to the leaves, are gonna be called something fan palm.
Right.
It's like a general rule of thumb. So this is just the Queensland Fan Palm. That's literally the name.
Oh, okay. Queensland Fan Palm. All right.
Yeah, correct. Queensland Fan Palm. And this is mostly Cairns, Port Douglas, and some places that we do not have coverage in. Sag. But yeah, always be alert, plant it in cities and stuff. You want to be using these metas when you're out in the wild. But yeah, this is a super unique one. I think this is the most perfectly circular leaf shape that I've ever seen in a palm tree.
It is beautiful. I actually really like the aesthetic of it.
Yeah. But, yeah, you find them planted a lot in Cairns and other cities around that area.
Okay, sweet. Queensland Fan Palm. I think I was thinking about the genus name. I'll never remember the genus names, but
it's I don't think I even remember it. It's Liquala Ramsayi. There you go.
Nice. Okay, so I already know the country, of course, so I'm gonna make an educated guess that this is a Asian palmetto.
Close. It's similar. Honestly, it doesn't really matter that you know the exact name or not. What's important is that you just recognize the palm and you can draw the map in your head of where it's found. This example here, it's not really to be oh, you see this palm tree here? This means that you're in Bangladesh. No, this is more you are obviously in Bangladesh. Everything is Bangladesh around you. But the palm tree here is just to showcase the fact that you do find them here.
Okay.
So just to spread out the distribution on the map a little bit. But once you click and we see the map, you'll see where you find it.
Yep. Is this the same as basically what the Cambodia palm is?
Yes, it is. It is exactly the same one.
Okay. Asian Palmyra
So,
palm. Ah.
yeah, I've added in brackets next to the plant names what the GeoGuessr community calls these plants often.
Mm-hmm.
So we know this one as the Cambodia palm or the Cambo palm. So I've just written it next to it.
Yes.
The correct name is the Palmyra palm, though.
Okay.
And there's other ones. There's the African one too, which we will get to hopefully later on. But you don't really use this one too much for region guessing, other than I don't know, maybe like the Nusas, what are they called? The Lesser Sunda Islands or something in Indonesia.
Okay.
Like if you check the distribution and you look at Indonesia,
Yep.
you don't really see them like anywhere besides Nusas and Timor. They're like highly concentrated in Timor, so that's a good way of identifying it. But yeah, never in Philippines. I have never seen one in Philippines. It's mostly a Cambodia, Thailand, and Bangladesh, and India too.
Okay. Awesome. Ooh, okay. Well, immediately it looks like
Yeah,
Mexico.
now we're getting into a little bit of a tricky identifying process, but
Yes.
let me hear your thought process here.
Okay. So I immediately recognize this as Mexico, I believe. I do remember reading up on the learnable meta on some of the palms, and I remember struggling a little bit with, like you said, identification of some of these Mexican palms, because there seems to be a lot of them, especially in the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you what this palm is, but I do believe it is maybe anywhere from the Yucatan Peninsula through to Tabasco, Campeche, something like that. So I'll go ahead and send. We'll see if I have the right idea. No! It's Florida.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
This
Okay.
happens to me all the time too. Like I've seen these so much while mapping. And I still struggle. Basically they're all sabal palms. So Sabal.
Yep.
Sabal.
Yep.
You have so many different types, man. And it really comes down to like being there in person and being able to like, look closely at the leaves or the fruits or the trunk. Like this is a tough one to identify on Street View. And I've tried my best with the other examples in Mexico to like try to explain what you want to be looking for.
Okay.
But this one, compared to the Sabal Mexicana, which is the one that you were thinking of,
okay,
even to me, they look almost identical. So this is an example of where you're either an expert in botany or you use other metas, like road or landscape poles and stuff like that.
Okay, makes sense.
But yeah, that's what I meant when I meant we're getting into like complicated identifying territory here, because even I get tricked by these very often. But we will see the other ones for sure. I'm hoping.
So it's part of the Sabal family, but they all have different subspecies.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Makes
Species.
Sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. This. Well, I immediately recognize the coverage as being one of the Ugandan national parks, I think, but
correct.
This would be some sort of African palm. Don't know the name though.
Notice the resemblance between this one and the Cambodia palm?
It does look very similar. In fact,
it looks similar, right?
For a second, I thought it was Cambodia when we first spawned in. So
okay,
yeah.
So they are both from the Borasus family. So they're both Palmyras.
Okay.
But this is the African Palmyra palm.
Okay.
While the other one that we had in Cambodia is the Asian Palmyra palm.
Right.
Honestly, I haven't done a full loads of research on like how to tell them apart. I'm sure there's like some details to look at here, but usually with the landscape and like you said, like car meta and stuff like that, you can tell Asia from Africa apart.
Yeah, because if I was guessing purely off the palm, I would have no clue. But with the other context clues, okay, it's an African palm. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. I guess the most useful thing here is within Africa, you only really see it in northern South Africa. Honestly, I haven't really found any examples myself, but it is mentioned in the research that other botanists or the proper botanists have done. But yeah, that's just, you can just think Africa when you see that one.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so this palm is rather tall. And it has kind of like that rounded shape. It reminded me a little bit of the one that you find in Ceará in Brazil.
Yeah, definitely similar profiles. They look similar for sure.
Like it's a bit like rounded. I don't know how to explain it. Now the ones I feel like, what if this is like another Mexican palm of some kind is my other trail of thought, but all I'm going to say is it looks a little bit like a Ceará palm, but it might not be. It might be something else in like Mexico or something. So this is one of those rounds where I'm not entirely sure. So I'm just going to send something and prayage.
Well, I'm praying for you. Because
God.
I have a feeling this is Timor.
Oh, no.
And we've had back-to-back Asian Palmyra to African Palmyra.
Yes.
And now back again to Asian Palmyra palm.
Oh.
So the way I identify these mostly is due to, like you said, like this like circular shape that look like the Ceará palms. I think I've heard them referred to as lollipop palms.
Yep.
Because they have this shape for sure.
Yep.
But I think in order to eliminate Ceará palm as a possibility, I would say in Ceará you usually get them in like flat areas. And then in order to tell them apart from Mexico, I'd say just look at them a few times.
Yep.
Try to spot the difference with like the leaves and stuff. But we're getting into like tough to identify kind of territory.
Oh yeah, and that was a bit of a skill issue too, because
still possible.
I sent Mexico on Indo, so that's tough.
No, it's okay. I mean, this happens.
Ooh, all right, we got a forest of palms again. Now they're starting to look a little. Now that we've seen so many, they're all starting to blend in my head a bit, but I'm just trying to eliminate.
So use other things, like what does the landscape look like, the direction of the sun, the fences. Yeah, I mean, GeoGuessr is about like using everything in your hand, right? So.
Yep.
Where would you put us right here? What country do you think this is?
Let me see here. Ooh, there's a lot of like palms in the underbrush too. I am actually unsure. Okay, so what do we have? We do have car wire, and it's Gen 4 blue, but sun's west, so sun's really not helpful here. Well, I'm only really familiar with car wire and like Arge, but I've never seen coverage like this in Arge, to be honest. Maybe just never seen it before, but I'm actually really unsure. And the palm, I just don't know it. What I was thinking is this a palm we've already covered or not? I don't think it is.
No.
Okay.
But you've mentioned you got confused. The Palmyra palm and this one are easily confused with one another because
Ooh.
of the shape, like the average height that it has, the trunk and everything.
Mhm.
But I would say the leaves are different. Um, I haven't spent hours trying to see all the little details about them. I can tell that they look different to the Palmyra palms.
Okay.
But the biggest issue here, I think, is getting these confused with their brothers, or they're like twin brothers. And you will
Okay.
see what I mean in a second once you make your guess.
Sweet. All right. I think I'm just going to send the only clue or indicator that I have, like of palms being like very similar, reminded
Yeah.
me of like that Macaw versus Paraguay Palm thing. So I'll send
Yeah.
Brazil, but I'm very unsure.
It's definitely a similar situation. Basically, same kind of deal that we have going on here.
Okay. And it is
So
Arge. Okay.
it is arch, yeah, and it's pretty niche for Argentina. You only really get it in like this region. You can check the map if you want,
Yes.
a
Yep.
naturalist map.
Hmm.
But this observation map is actually quite um specific, or quite it showcases pretty well where you find it in GeoGuessr too. Because I
Right.
have seen them like occasionally in Bolivia, but I mean you get Bolivia with other clues, right?
Hmm.
But this one you can confuse it with the Ceará palm. Ceará palm.
Okay.
They are both Copernicia, so they're both from the same family. They look pretty similar, but of course you need to use like other clues around you and stuff to identify what part of Brazil you're in. It's This is exactly what you said before. It's this kind of deal with the Paraguay and the Macaw palm. They
Hmm.
look very similar, but they have different distribution. So either with a lot of practice, looking at them a lot and looking for details, or using things like landscape, car meta, etc.
Yep.
Use whatever you have in your toolbox, you know. But
I'll
yeah, this is definitely a very good palm to know, especially
yes.
for Brazil, I'd say, because Brazil can be
Yes.
so hard, man.
Oh yeah,
Like
it
any
can.
part of Brazil can look like any other part of Brazil. It
Yeah.
actually drives me nuts. And yeah, palm trees sometimes can actually help out a lot with a region guess.
Right, for sure. And I noticed the name was Caranday Palm. I do know there's another palm in Cordoba, like
Yes,
in called
yeah,
Caranday.
that's why I don't recommend always referring to them for their common names, because common names can be tricky sometimes. People will name them the same thing when they're totally different. Uh, but I do mention that in the note.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. All right. So it looks like we are in Africa here, and
Mhm.
we have very large leafed palms, extremely long leaves. Um, so, and then based off the pole, it looks like we're in northern, and the Carmeta and everything, looks like we're in northern
Mhm.
Nigeria. It's very dry. Um, so yeah, this would be some sort of African
So
palm.
before you send your guess,
Hmm.
um, we do have the long leaf. They're called African oil palms, the ones to the south.
Okay.
They're actually the same species that they used to farm in like Indonesia, Malaysia, and stuff.
Hmm.
Like I'm pretty confident that that's the same one. But the one that we're looking at here, if you press R to reset your screen,
Yep.
is a little bit hidden, but it's in a
Oh,
backyard.
yes. Okay.
So
And
see how they're branching out from like the same trunk?
yes.
Do you remember the one in Madagascar?
Yes. Uh,
So it is not the same species, but it is the same family.
okay.
So they're branching out from like the same trunk.
Hmm.
And I believe this is called the East African Doum palm. We'll see once you make your guess.
Perfect. Ouchie. There we go. Yeah, Doum Palm.
Okay. So yeah, okay. So I was actually wrong. They look super similar. This one is just the Doum Palm, and actually, if you see this in India, it's a free 5K basically. If you zoom into Gujarat and you zoom down to the coast, in Gujarat, the small region called Diu.
Small region called Diu.
Diu, yeah, it's like a separate state, kind of.
Okay.
So it's like a separate territory. I don't know exactly the geopolitical term for it, but Diu and Daman are like union territories.
Oh, I've heard of these. Yes. Okay.
Yes. So if you see it in India, there's like a 95% chance that you are in Diu.
Okay.
Diu Island.
Yeah.
They just love to plant them there. They love them.
That's awesome.
So it's a little bit of a niche meta for India, but you can use it for Africa for sure. This will eliminate any kind of Senegal versus Nigeria 50-50 or Kenya versus Nigeria 50-50, which if they occur, it's mostly an NMPZ or when you're a very, new player.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good one. It's a good one to learn for sure.
All right.
I like these.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Okay. Again, these are some big boys.
Mm-hmm.
Is it ever the
So
California
you've seen these ones before?
Fan Palm again? I believe it is.
Correct.
I recognized them pretty quickly that time. So we'll send the same exact area. Let's just send Coachella Valley Preserve. Oh, over in Nevada though. This time around.
Yep.
Sweet.
So it is generally speaking just that, that dry area of southwestern US.
Yes.
Death Valley, Mojave, along the Colorado River, I believe is the name of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, Colorado River.
Yep.
But yeah, it's that general area. So they're not super specific, but
okay.
They might help you out in the future. Who knows?
Ooh, okay.
Oh, this is one of my favorites.
Yes, very distinct with the leaves and the shape and how tall it is.
Mm-hmm.
Areca palms.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
And based off the coverage, it's just an Areca palm found in Sri Lanka.
Well, maybe.
Maybe. We'll send.
Maybe there's a Google car screaming Sri Lanka.
Yep.
Or a poll.
The French flag Sri Lanka car. Hell yeah.
French flag car. Hey, listen, this is a plant video, okay? Let's forget about cars. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're correct. It is an Areca. Areca Catechu is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even guess how many times I've mentioned this to like someone and then they just immediately forget it. It is such a good palm to use to region guess, let me think, India, because you only really get it in Assam or in Kerala.
Right.
And then Thailand, most of the times I see it in Thailand, it's in the south, like in the peninsula, when they're like in groups,
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times when you're playing like NMPZ or something and you get Taiwan and you do not get the typical pole with like the stripes on, a lot of people miss Taiwan. So this is a very good palm to know for Taiwan because they absolutely love it. Like there is full-on valleys with these palms just scattered like everywhere. So it's a very good clue for Taiwan. Look out for it especially when you don't have the typical pole,
Yes.
And then last thing I want to mention about this one too is Indonesia. 100% remember this one when you are in Indonesia because very often actually, you will be in North Sumatra or like in the Sumatra provinces, like North Sumatra, West Sumatra. In fact, I think the Indonesia Plunket Guide mentions them, and I think they're referred to as Sumatra palms. I haven't seen that guide in a while, but it's a really good one for Indonesia and for India.
Yes.
And sometimes to sniff out like southern Thailand.
Awesome.
So yeah, super underrated. Super underrated.
Yep.
I love me a good Areca Palm in hard countries to region guess.
Yes, I was aware of the Kerala Assam thing. I just telling the difference between both is what trips me up basically at that point.
Yeah, I mean, same here.
Sweet.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right. Well, I was immediately looking at the palm and seeing the curb.
Yep.
My first initial thought was maybe Ceará, but then I looked around a bit more and it's clear that it's Mexico. But I guess this could be a different type of sabal palm that we were discussing earlier.
Yes, you are onto something for sure. Let me just fetch you a location of a Ceará palm, just so you can like compare them side by side, because this is what really helps learn how to like tell the differences apart. So if you're able to open that location and look at it and like switch back and forth.
Yes.
Just look at the way the leaves in the Ceará palm fan out from like the center of the leaf.
Mm-hmm.
You see how it's like a circular spot, and then everything fans out like in a circular shape or like a radius. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but as long as you visualize it the same way that I'm doing.
Yep.
Just keep that in your mind, and I'll switch to the sabal that we have.
Okay. Gotcha.
Notice how different the leaves are?
Yes, it seems trying to picture it here. Like I can see the difference, but yeah, it's definitely hard to describe. But yes, the radius thing, I think I see what you mean with regards to the leaves. It's kind of more like I guess the leaf, you could describe it almost like a fan, like one of those like fan palms we were talking about earlier.
In the Ceará palm. Yeah.
In the Ceará palm, yeah. And then the sabal one seems more like like, I don't want to say droopy, but like it's just different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. And it really, it doesn't get better than just learning how to name the things yourself, to just have it in your mind. Like, I was teaching a friend some cacti the other day, and he was giving them like the weirdest names. He was like, "Oh, this is the deflated football cactus." I was like, "What are you talking? What do you mean deflated football?"
Yes.
And he was like, let me be. And whenever it came out, showed up again, he was like, "Oh, this is the deflated football cactus." I was like, "Whoa." If it works for you, it works. I think that's the best thing you can do, honestly, with plants. Just try to like give it a name or compare it to something that you can remember.
Yes.
And that way, when they show up, your brain just immediately associates the two things. Because if you're always like studying the exact shape of it and the length and all that stuff, it's just going to become a nightmare. So yeah, I think that's the best tip I can give you here. The rest is just practice, I guess. I don't know. This one, I even get confused myself, but I think one of the clues is it is a sabal, like you said. It is a sabal.
Yep.
But I think one of the clues is that you can see a lot of gaps. So if you look at the one northeast, for example, you can see it pretty clearly.
Yes.
There's like big gaps between the leaves. So
right.
I would say that's one of the clues to look out for.
Yes.
And I want to see your guess now, because if you can successfully identify this one compared to the other sabal, this is a 4.9K, 4.8K score every time.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I do have actually a good idea. initially I was just clicking somewhere like in Mexico, pretty randomly, but I just remembered as you were speaking that I do know that there's a thing called a Nayarit Palm, and based off the landscape, I'm thinking it's probably that. And it is indeed.
It is Nayarit Palm.
Hell yeah.
So I pulled out my art skills for this one. So if you
Oh God, yeah.
you slide the pic, I'm sorry.
Those are some nice gaps.
Yeah, like I don't know how to, and I mean I struggle to like identify this one compared to the other sabal. Like you said, landscape, the overall it just looks drier. You know, west south coast Mexico tends to look drier. But yeah, I'm just trying to point out the differences, and I'm also learning as I make these maps. So yeah, Sabal Rosé, aka Nayarit Palm. If you see this one, it's mostly going to be southern Sinaloa, Nayarit, like coastal Jalisco sometimes. But yeah, that's basically it.
All right. That is
very,
awesome.
very good palm to know.
Sweet. Oh, wow. Okay. NMPZ, it's Japan. So I'm guessing that this is, what was the name? I did read about it. Like, I think it's like Chinese Fan Palm or something like that. Could be tripping, but I'll just click one of the southern islands near Taiwan and call it a day.
Yep, you got it.
That's what it is? A Chinese Fan Palm.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
And, I mean, most of the times, obviously, you can have the car, and even if you don't see the palm tree itself, it's like, it just looks tropical. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like the most important palm to learn. It's more of a, here's this palm, this is the name of the palm, and this is, you know, when you see this guy, here's his name. I'd like to introduce you to my friend. He's very nice. So it's more of a just knowledge kind of thing, just so you know what the name is, etc. But I don't think almost anyone is going to have issues with like the low cam and the whole overall tropical feeling. So yeah, it's not the most important one, but I wanted to include it anyway. I think it deserves the spotlight.
Sweet. All right. Now, is this the... Wait. No, this is different. Okay, so we're in northeast Brazil, I'm pretty sure. Although this does not necessarily look... Is it a Ceara Palm? They look taller and skinnier for some reason.
Zoom into the leaf. Like the one northeast, I guess it's the closest one. But
yeah.
If you zoom into the leaf, the one that you can see like perpendicular to the camera, you can spot this like little circle again where the leaves fan from or radiate from.
I see it. I do see it.
It's like a sun, you know? It's like you get the sun in the middle and then the sun rays going outwards, you know?
I can see it. Okay, so this is just Ceara Palm then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, these ones look a bit maybe it's a seasonal thing. They just look a bit more sad for some reason. But
yeah, there's so many things that can make a palm tree or in any plant basically look different, depending on like the soil that they're growing on, the amount of water that they get, if they're like competing with, you know, other palms next to them.
Ooh.
But yeah,
crazy
lot. It is called. We do call it the Ceara Palm, but unlucky. Brazil is just tough. What can you do?
Bahia
so
Palm.
You do
find
them in that area of Bahia.
Okay.
Like you can see on the map, right? They're like highly concentrated in northeast, but yeah, just have in mind that Bahia does get them. Huge forests like that, actually.
Okay, fascinating. I actually did not know that. I really thought it was purely like northeast, but yeah. So I think I know this one. Wait, do I? Let me look around again. I do know this one. This is the...
You have seen it?
I've seen it before. It's the African... what do you call it?
But it looks different when you saw it. It looks smaller, like more in its
okay,
baby form, you know?
Yeah. It started with an I. Similar to the one that started with an I.
I wonder if the name of this cabin has anything to do with the palm.
Oh my god.
I wonder.
No way. I wonder.
Could it be?
It's Ilala. I knew it started with an I, bro. Oh my god. That's a sick lock actually for this map.
Yeah.
And it should be north of Eswa, right? Let's see. No, Durban.
Yep.
South. Okay.
East Coast, basically.
Right.
So you can, again, have a look at the distribution map.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
And this is mostly an East Coast thing.
Sweet.
That's where they're mostly concentrated, though. So.
Yeah.
It's like the Ceará palm, right? You see them a lot in Ceará, but that doesn't mean that you can't find them in Bahia, that's, for example.
Right. Makes sense. Cool. All right. I think... Okay, so this is España. Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these palms are thick boys, once again.
Yes.
I feel like this is something I might have seen before. But,
yeah.
Oh man, is
you,
it...
You got the palm tree correct, I think. What palm tree are you thinking of?
Oh man, I'm already forgetting.
I don't think there's another palm tree with this like thick trunk.
Wait.
It's like it's in the proper wild. Fat, you know?
It's proper fat. What was it again? Was it
proper fat?
Oh no, I forgot already. I'm skill issuing right now, but I'll just...
It is a bit of a niche one. It is only found around one city, growing out in the wild.
Okay.
It is not Spain.
Oh wait. Oh
it's
no.
A different continent.
Oh god. What is it? Oh, is it Chile? Oh, it's the wine palm. I'm so stupid. It's the Chilean wine palm. I forgot it already.
Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
It's okay because like realistically, I doubt you're gonna see this one every day playing GeoGuessr.
I forgot it. I got it the first time, not the second time. That's crazy.
Yeah. So good.
Proper skill issue there. Yes, the wine palm, of course.
Fat boys, man.
Fat boys, Viña del Mar, man. Gotta remember that.
Mm.
Oh. New Zealand? I think this is called...
This is a new one.
It starts with an N, bro. Like, Nikau Palm or something like that?
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff.
Sweet. That should just be... Well, it's not necessarily Northland, but I don't know.
Before you send, I want to just give like a quick tip on like this palm tree and in general, like all the palm trees. So we were talking a lot about the shape of the leaves of palm trees before, right?
Yep.
Like how the leaves fan out from like a circle, or they're just like hanging, or like droopy, or there's gaps between the leaves. There's also another detail to look at for palm trees, and that is what it's called the crown shaft. Crown shaft altogether. So that's basically where the leaves come out from, where they stem from.
Yep.
So in this case, the crown shaft is like very green, shiny, and like bulgy.
Yep.
It's like very rounded. So that's another detail to like look at palm trees to identify them.
Okay.
Say you find one similar to this, but the crown shaft is like a different color or smaller or something like that. It could be a completely different species, but it's just a thing to point out about palm trees in general, that it is an important factor to look at sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
Other times, just with the shape, you can be like, oh yeah, this is this palm, but
yeah, it's quite distinct.
element, basically.
Yeah, Yeah, it's quite
Yeah, for
distinct. You
sure.
see that bulbous green
Yeah.
thing, and then all the leaves on
Mhm.
this one just point upwards. So.
It almost looks like a badminton ball, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Now that I'm looking at it,
like a birdie. Yeah, yeah.
is that what you call them? Birdies?
At least in North America, that's what we call them. Yeah,
Yeah,
birdies.
it reminds me a lot of the badminton ball thingies.
Oh
Like
yeah.
even the crown shaft and everything. If it was circular, I just
So yeah,
realized.
literally badminton. Yeah, I like it.
See, so Birdie Palm equals New Zealand. But I mean, to be fair, you already knew the name of it, so
Yes, it took some digging because I did read up about it, but okay,
yeah.
yeah, and it can be on the coast on the west side there. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Always New Zealand, though. I think that's a pretty good one to know.
Yes. All right. Okay. Well, this is another Mexican sabal palm, surely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, landscape-wise, I'm just gonna click. Why does it look so dry? I don't know. Just it's kind of flat too. I'll go like Webla or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, it's just the Nayarit one again.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
So some of them looked slightly different. Like I said before, like sometimes when they're grouped all together, they can like get a little bit their shape can vary and the color of the leaves. Some of them die because they're like competing, right? They're competing for the nutrients on the soil,
Right.
etc.
Right.
So they look slightly different, but that is indeed a Sabal Rosé or Nayarit Palm, how we like to call them.
Okay.
And yeah, there's not much else to say about that one. Always click Nayarit.
Sweet.
Or surroundings, basically.
Yes.
These are camouflaged.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them here. They're
hard to see.
They're short. So this is something completely new to me. I have not seen that before. Looks like we're in South Africa and we do have the grass, the bushiness. So, wait. So I guess because I'm looking at the one directly south, and I guess it could be another kind of Ilala Palm or whatever it's called. Let's see.
You nailed it. Yeah, basically, it is an Ilala Palm.
All right, sweet. Is it the same?
And
yeah.
So what was your thought process to identify it?
So the one directly south looked. You could see all the branches coming out of it, right? And how low it was.
Yeah.
So that was the main thing. I also looked around and, I was like, okay, we're in Africa. I had to recognize that it was South Africa in the first place. But once I had the idea, okay, Africa, and I see that low palm with all the branches, that's how I got there in the end.
Nice. I think they are unique to Kruger when you're not on the coast, like the East Coast. I think the only place you find them is actually Kruger. I'm not 100% sure about it, but there is 0 observations anywhere else, like at least in Limpopo where you clicked. I never actually found one around there. And Wikipedia also, I think, mentioned something about East Coast or like Kruger, something like that. So yeah, this will be the only moment where I actually mention scientific name and etc. Because like I said, they're not really needed. But Hyphaene or Hyphaene, however you pronounce it, there is 3 or 4 different ones on this map. They will look different, but they all have this property to them where they grow in like branches, like you said.
Okay.
So, and they're always going to be in Africa, or except that, that tiny place in India, Doum.
Yes.
So yeah, sometimes if they belong to the same family, they will share attributes or like specific properties to them. And this is a case for sure.
Right. All right, sweet. Now this is very distinct, and I think I have a good idea because I think I saw this in a video from that botanist from
Nebula?
the U.S. GeoNebula. Yes,
Yeah.
GeoNebula is what I was thinking about, and
GeoNebula.
if I'm identifying this correctly, and with the pines that I'm seeing, is this saw palmetto, or am I tripping?
If I'm honest, I struggle to identify saw palmetto and cabbage palmetto.
Right.
They just look very similar to me. I think this is an example of a cabbage palmetto,
Okay.
which is the one that can actually grow into a full-on palm tree.
Okay.
The same palm tree where you sent Mexico on Florida a few rounds ago.
Yes. Oh,
So
okay.
So I'm pretty sure this is a sabal.
A sabah. Okay, so
And I don't know what to tell you about. It just looks more like a baby palm tree, more than the saw palmetto, like you mentioned, that grows in like bush forms, and they scatter on the ground and stuff.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, and landscape-wise, I've seen saw palmetto before in like South Carolina. It's on the coast, and it was like very sandy and flat. This landscape looks a little different. So now that you're thinking it's more cabbage palmetto, I think I'm gonna click like I don't know, either very South Georgia or like Florida Peninsula.
They have like the same distribution. Like
okay,
you don't really need to separate them in your mind. They are different species, different families, in fact.
Okay.
But honestly, the distribution is basically the same. So
sweet. All right, I'll just send South Georgia then. It's gonna be
shout
Florida.
out to GeoNebula, by the way. If anyone enjoys anything about botany or plants in GeoGuessr, definitely check out GeoNebula. He's awesome. He's specialized in like the United States, but I've learned so much from his videos. And in fact, I have to study a bit more of his stuff because some of the US pine things are just so complicated.
Yeah,
and we'll get to them when we do some pines in the future. But yeah,
yeah, I agree. I've seen his videos. He did with Zigzag, and I follow him on Twitch too. I even watched him.
Yeah, he streams every now and then.
Yeah, he streams every now and then, and yeah, it's good stuff. Highly recommend. All right. Oh, okay. So I think I know this one because I did review a few of your on the list beforehand. Is this a Juçara Palm?
Okay. I think I got it right. Juçara or Juçara?
Juçara.
I think it's a Juçara, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like as long as you recognize what it is and where it's found.
Yes. So the leaves,
it's fine.
On this one, they kind of look like, the way I recognize it is, the leaves look like they're hanging on each side of a stem.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I think that's from the distribution I saw. I think it's like Minas Espirito Rio in the hills somewhere out there.
So it's a relative to the Belém palm. In fact, if you ask me, they look pretty much identical. I can't really tell them apart. Thankfully, though, it's a sibling, or its relative. The Açai Palm grows only in flat areas. And the Juçara Palm, I swear, only grows in like hilly areas. So this is another example of like, you can't really tell them apart if you had them side by side, but they grow in like very different topography. Would that be the term? Like one of them grows in flatlands, like around Belém and Santarém, Amapá, and the other one grows in the mountains.
Yep. Okay, so in that case, if like
Yeah.
they're
And,
hard to identify,
if
but the
you've ever-
landscape, right?
If you've ever eaten the, what do you call them? Palm hearts?
Yes, I have
I
actually.
think palm hearts, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they come from this one. That's what they
Oh.
grow them from. Yeah.
From specifically Juçara.
From the Juçara, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Maybe from the Açai too, maybe. But yeah, they come from these Euterpe, I think they're called.
Okay, that makes sense. Sweet. All right, now this I 100% we click Seara. This has to be the Carnauba. I recognize it now. I it might even be a repeat round, but yeah, I recognize it.
Do it. Quick fire it. Yep. Not much to say about this one.
Yep.
We've covered it already, so.
Sweet. We're chilling. Ooh.
Ooh, okay, don't pan.
I did a little bit, but I'm just gonna. I went back.
Okay.
I went back.
Did you happen to spot any clues from like a car or something?
I saw the front of the car very briefly.
Okay.
But
spoiled.
I spoiled it a bit, yeah. If I would have had no clue, to be fair, if I was just looking at it NMPZ, maybe with the dryness, I would have thought like, maybe I would have gone Asia, honestly, who knows, but yeah, so, I mean, I only saw the front. It's either Curaçao or Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this is some sort of Caribbean palm. I wouldn't know the name.
So mind-blowing fact right here, right now.
Okay.
This is a Macaw Palm.
This is a Macaw
Palm?
Palm?
Yeah, the one that everyone is like, oh yeah, you click southern Brazil. Welp. This was like one of the most extreme examples that I could find of a Macaw Palm that is most definitely not even close to Brazil. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, it is kind of close to Brazil, but not where someone would click thinking it's a Paraguay palm or something like that. And in fact, this one looks kind of sad, to be honest. It's like, it's drying out. The trunk looks super unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this one's sad, I can tell. But
Okay.
yeah, if you ever see like another Macaw Palm side by side, you will definitely notice that. Oh yeah, that's the one. And
Okay.
to the right,
yep,
there's a couple more actually.
in the distance. Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah, I think they're queen palms or something like that. But yeah, the important one here is for sure
the Macaw
Palm in front of us.
But that one is like you said, an extreme example of one being not pretty far away from
totally far.
where people associate
far from like something that we would have clicked normally, right? Thinking what a Macaw Palm is.
Okay. Yep, makes sense. Sweet. I'll just send DR. I kind of spoiled it, so I'll try to hold, and whenever we get a good NMPZ round like that. Yeah. All right. Okay. This is literally just another Seara Palm, I think. I'll just send. Pretty sure. Yeah, except it's in Maranhão.
Well done. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, when I pick locations for plants, I look at like the observations of where they're found in the wild, and I try to pick locations that are as far apart from each other as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And just to like prove a point, right? That they're not really just in Ceará.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will make whatever notes are needed in the notes for whoever wants to read.
Ooh, a forest of pretty sad looking palms, to be honest, but I think this is another one of, I literally think this is just sad Seara palms in a in Gen 3 Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I recognize it from the leaf there as well. Again.
Nice. Yeah.
So
well done. Yeah. Yeah, these look unmaintained.
I just click RGDN there. Yeah, it's Seara. Nice. Ooh, now this is one of my favorites, actually. I think I know what this is.
This one is absolutely epic.
Yep. It's the tallest palm in the world, isn't it? The wax palms of
correct.
Quindio, I think, or whatever it is.
Quindio, I think.
Quindio. Near Armenia, right?
Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, I do recognize those. It's like if I were to visit Colombia, this would be on my list, going to see these.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
I mean, clearly seeing one of these forests. And this was the best location that I could find. You can actually see, if you look up in the distance northwest, they are thriving. Like,
wow.
They're just dominating the landscape.
I just realized. Wow.
Also, quick note, I'm pretty sure you would be able to region guess within Colombia when you see these. I have not gone that far into investigation, but yeah, it's just a side note that I'm pretty sure you're able to like region guess within the country when you see these palms.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. I think I do know the 5K here. I think it's El Bosque de Palmas. I've seen it before, I think, so we'll see. Yeah. Very nice. 4997, unacceptable.
Hey, good stuff. Check the distribution 1 second.
Yep. Let's have a look here.
They do show up in northern Peru. Not Ecuador. Ignore those observations in Ecuador. They do show up around Cajamarca. I had to click around for like 20 or 30 minutes, clicking around roads in Cajamarca to find some. And I did end up finding some, but like pretty far away. I didn't get like a good location. So it's just a, small side note. It is not only Colombia, but 99% of the times, for sure, just slam Colombia.
Awesome. Sweet. I think I'll be able to go up to round 35 here before having to call it, but let's see what we can get out of the last 3 rounds here.
Whenever you want.
Okay. I shouldn't have turned around, but these... this palm, yeah, my reaction is so quick. I just turn around the moment I spawn in, but this tree immediately has like that twin vibe going on where the trunk splits off.
Yep.
So, you know what? I know we've talked a lot about the Ila trees or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I think this is the other one that we saw in Nigeria earlier, the Doum, a variation of the Doum.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
It's either the Doum or the East African Doum, like whatever. Like they're different species. They all belong to the same family, like we talked about before.
Right.
Hyphaene or whatever. So yeah, it's the property here of the palm is the fact that it branches out. You get multiple palms coming out from the same trunk.
And is this the same kind of thing? You know when people region guess in Kenya and they go Mombasa, is this the kind of thing you would see more on the coast? Or it's something you find inland?
We can definitely have a look at that. Make your guess and we will get the iNaturalist link.
Yeah. Because the Mombasa thing could just be coconut palms, right? But
Oh yeah, for sure. If you see coconut palms in Kenya, then I think 100% you are in Mombasa. But the Hyphaene compressa. So there's a high concentration along the coasts of northern East Africa, particularly Kenya and Tanzania. You can find them also Somalia, Madagascar, Ethiopia, blah 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 blah. But yeah, so it does say along the coasts. What does the iNaturalist observations look like?
It looks like it does go inland, but maybe along a specific path. inland, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I see. Actually, oh, there's a bunch of them together, like next to the Kenya label.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
wonder what that is. It's like some kind of park or something, a
possibly. Yeah.
nature reserve, and
S-
then up by the Lake Turkana,
Mm, right.
so like the Lodwar stuff. So it is not only coastal. You do find them inland too in Kenya.
Okay. Yeah, good to know. Sweet. Okay. NMPZ here. This looks a lot like, again, the Juçara Palm, just from the leaf shape. Now, if like, I know you said they
Either
can be
Juçara
Belem.
or Açai, they are
Oh, yeah, like
they're identical.
yeah, acai ones
So
are the Belem ones, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So you just look around and you're like, does this look Amazonian or does it look like Rio or Minas Gerais?
It's
And I
very
mean, you can,
tropical, very green.
yeah, you can even like just to the right next to the Açai Palm,
Yep.
there's Moriche palms, which
Oh,
unfortunately they haven't showed up yet. But we can have a quick talk about them.
Moriche.
They are nasty when it comes to region guessing Brazil because it's true that you do get them more in like Amazon kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But man, the amount of times where I've had a bunch of these, I'm like, oh yeah, this is just Amazon forest, and then it's Tocantins. It's just it's mind-boggling. So yeah, Moricha palm on the right, not that helpful, but the acai palm for sure. It
Right.
is very, very necessary to know this one.
Okay. And I've heard of Moriche Palm, I think. Do they show up in clusters in the Roraima potentially? Am I tripping on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No. You're correct. They show up in clusters in Roraima. They show up in Colombia, east of Andes.
Mhm.
They show up in Amazonian Peru, Amazonian Ecuador.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, if you ever get this palm in the game or whatever, or you want to search it up, you
Yeah.
will see that the Moricha palm is like many, many, many other places.
Okay. So that's a complicated palm basically.
Yeah,
All
you need
right.
to use other stuff around you.
Yeah. All right. And
All
last
right. And
round,
for the last one, will
NMPZ.
you recognize this one?
Is it a Doum palm, but really small?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, perfect. I didn't even turn around and we got the Kenya car.
Yep.
Very particular. Yeah, just the way it looks is very African, so yeah.
Mhm. And I think we might be in one of those central reserves that we saw before in the
You're right, it's Kenya label.
naturalist thing.
Yeah,
Yep, literally on the label.
nice. That is solid. Well, there you go.
Nice. Good job.
Well, thanks. That was very insightful. Sure, I mean, I actually hadn't used the script before, so this is actually you coded this, right?
The person that coded this was Trowsy and a friend of his. Trowsy is a Rust streamer, but he plays a lot of GeoGuessr on the side on his free time.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, make sure to check out LearnableMeta.com. And yeah, they have plenty of maps. Like they're continuing to add more and more and more. And any person from the community is free to make a map and to publish it. They have a Discord server which you can join and discuss about maps or ask what kind of help you could do. I started off with the Learnable Sweden map actually to learn how the whole script thing works, and then
Okay.
once I got a hang of it, I was like, would be interesting to make a map for, specifically for plants.
Okay.
And yeah, it's an ongoing project. I continue to add species every couple days, 2-3 days. I don't pressure myself too much. But
Right.
yeah, there will be hundreds of species in the future, and I will separate them into beginner to medium to advanced level too. because I'm sure you can tell by your experience during this session. Some of them were like super easy to recognize. Some of them were harder to recognize.
Right. Okay.
So I will try to split it into different levels or difficulties. But,
all right.
Yeah. As of now, this is what we got, and thank you so much for having me along on the video.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate. For those of you who don't follow Zen, he often streams over on Twitch. A lot of those head streaks and stuff like that. So be sure to give him a follow. I'll leave the link in the description to Zen's Twitch channel. And yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, sharing your knowledge. Again, this was just for palms, and maybe in the future we could do a video regarding the conifers and the cacti and who knows what the hell else.
Yeah, I'm down. Whenever you want, man.
Sweet. All right. Appreciate it.